Hey, my name is Skylar, and today for History Club, I'll be presenting on the Collyer brothers. So before I begin, I spent like 2 hours basically copy paste the Wikipedia page on here. Not actually, but I'll be kind of reading off the slide a little bit, but only because I saved all the pictures for the end, which are great. Alright, so let us begin. So, who were they? So they lived around, so they were born in the 1880s, and they lived in New York, Manhattan. So, initially their father worked at a hospital, so they moved to a brownstone at Harlem. So brownstone is basically just the name for an old apartment building made out of brown stone, so like some sort of sandstone that was a fairly common building material back then. So both these guys were pretty smart. Homer studied maritime law, and Lily studied engineering and chemistry. So at this time, they're living their lives, right? And there's no college. And so their parents separated in 1919, and then they died, which is really tragic.
Their parents, not the people.
Yeah, the parents died. So that was kind of the first step to disaster that will show up later. So, their father and their mother, they left behind a lot of belongings. So, as a father was a doctor, they left behind a lot of his medical work and things like that. That will show up later, by the way. So, you might want to keep that in the back of your head. So, Homer and Lily, they stayed at their home, and they kept on doing their jobs. So, Homer practiced law, Langley built stuff, and he bought and sold pianos because it was fun. And they even purchased the property across the street because they wanted to turn into an apartment complex or something. And so what happens next is actually really sad. So Homer goes white from a stroke, and that's not cool. So Langley has to quit his job because he's taking care of his brother full time. But strangely enough, they refuse medical help because Homer believes that 100 oranges a week is going to cure blindness, right? Not exactly. So, it's not like this diet is necessarily bad, but it certainly didn't help things out. And so eventually Homer becomes completely paralyzed. So
that's
fun.
not
good, yeah. So, things are not turning out okay for them. So here's where things start getting a little, well, I don't want to say crazy. That's too mean. Strange is a better word. So now no one has a job because Homer can't work. Please open the door. Yeah, please open the door. Now Homer can't work because he's blind and paralyzed, and Langley can't work because he has to care for Homer. So, they don't really have money to pay for anything, and so the city notices that because they're not paying their utilities, so they shut the utilities down. So Langley, our local snacks kid here, he decides to turn an old Ford Model T into an electrical generator.
That's genius.
And he takes water from the park system for water, and then he uses a kerosene heater for the gas. So he basically kind of makes the utilities for himself. And so all this work and care for his brother, I guess, takes a toll on Langley. So I guess the stress causes his mental stability to go down. So he stops leaving the house before midnight, and he makes all these random night trips, and he starts to pick up a lot of stuff and hoard it. And so this is just the first of what's to come of what he hoards for whatever reason, okay? So he hoards baby carriages, rusted bikes,
Records?
secondhand records, yeah, the musical records.
Awesome.
So he's just kind of buying all the stuff out in the street, just putting it all in the apartment building. And, he still believes that, Homer will one day gain his sight. So he buys lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of newspapers. I'm not kidding. You'll see in the photos later. And so, at this point, their house is just kind of stuffed with junk. I don't have photos yet, but you'll see. And so, obviously, people start to notice. And so, in 1938, New York Times reports that the brothers had lots of material wealth, which is partly true. But what's not true at all is that they had turned down an offer for someone to buy their house. So, because people got really interested, because they started reading the New York Times stuff and said, this looks like there's things I could steal. So they try to, break into the house and rob stuff. Well, more like an apartment. But Langley is like, no, you can't have any of my stuff because it's all mine. So he builds all these booby traps so that nobody gets them. And he also boards all the windows and the doors so that no one can get in and get out, for the record. So, yeah. you couldn't get through the front door. There was just too much stuff in it. And so basically, like, at this point, there's like really no air inside the house, and it's just junk. So how do you get through all that stuff? You build tunnels, and so Langley, the engineering genius he builds all these tunnels to like walk around the maze of junk, and he also built booby traps inside the house because even though no one can get inside the house, I guess he's still somewhat paranoid and still builds traps inside the house just in case somebody gets in somehow.
What did they eat?
I'll get to that. So, he also builds a device for vacuuming inside of pianos. So I said that he bought and sold pianos. Well, he has lots of pianos inside the house too. So.
Getting kind of hard to sell those now.
Yeah, and so I said earlier that there was some partial truth to having a lot of money. And so, yes, they did have a lot of money. So their neighbors, well, obviously got a little suspicious. And so they started seeking the house. And so their brothers, I guess, bribed them and said they bought their apartments and the buildings next door, so that way nobody next door to them could spy on them. And in 1942, the bank was like, hey, you guys, you didn't pay your mortgage, so we're going to bust open your house so you can get the mortgage. And so when the bank got there, Langley was like, here, have lots of money for the mortgage, and just paid it off. Like, I guess that is money, like, is accumulated from like, their jobs in the past, but like,
Dang.
it like doesn't make sense. Like you could have used money to like buy medical treatment, but no. I don't think I came across why they received medical treatment in the first place, but it's just how it is. So basically, Langley had to spend all of his time caring for Homer. So he would bring him food throughout the travel aways, right? Play music for him, read him stories and stuff like that. And so then one day, the accident happened because Langley was bringing food to Homer, and then he must have triggered one of his traps somehow, and so it apparently caused a bunch of trash cave on him, and he got crushed by it, and he died. And because Langley died and could not bring Homer food, Homer also died, which is sad to say the least. So, kind of a short psychology sidestep, right? These guys were just normal people. They were educated. They had money. They had everything, but I guess because of the stress that accumulated from, having to take care of his brother who was dying paralyzed, that kind of, changed his brains, made him start hoarding all this stuff that made the environment more dangerous. So anyways, so now they're dead. Okay, question.
How long before people figured out they were dead? Like, were they dead for a month, a year?
I'll get to that.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. So, I think I write it later here, but basically, so Homer dies 5 hours before this date, okay? Or sometime during this date. So March 21, 1947, someone calls the police and says, hey, there's this fishy smell inside. Can you go check what it is? And so the police are first no, because they get strange calls from this place all the time. It's a place with junk that's just obviously very sketchy. But they go and see it anyways, and they soon find out that, well, you can't get in, just like I said. And so it's kind of interesting that they also took out their telephone and their doorbell so that nobody could get in. So it looks like this, it's not a threat, I don't know what it's called. This tip-off is credible. So they have to break into the house and start throwing all the junk, and then they find Homer. He was dead of starvation because he couldn't eat. He was also dead of heart disease. So he'd been dead for 10 hours since the call had happened. And so everybody suspected, what if the call was actually Langley, because for whatever reason, right? Everybody knew these brothers were together, but
everyone
at some point, one of them had to go kind of crazy, right? So police started to follow that tip, and rumors began to spread that Langley had actually killed his brother, called the police, and then ran off to Atlantic City, where Monopoly is, by the way. So police searched for him in 9 states, including New Jersey, and they didn't find him because
he was still in the apartment.
So Langley was still in the apartment. He was only 10 feet away from Homer, and he was found 3 weeks later after cleaning out a blue whale's worth of junk.
Oh my god.
And he was inside a 2-foot wide tunnel with drawers and bed springs. And so he probably died on March 9. So that was nearly 2 weeks before Homer died, and was the source of the smell that prompted the caller, who was anonymous. So, on the other side, this is kind of interesting, right? Homer survived for 2 weeks without food. And I guess, probably without knowing for at least a few days that his brother was gone. So I guess, in a sad way, this also demonstrates the resilience of the human body. So, now the cleanup begins because they're dead. So I bolded all the cool stuff that was inside the house and all the less cool stuff, but still cool stuff because a lot of it is not highlighted.
Oh, they had cats.
8 live cats were found inside their apartment.
Can I
Question.
have the box?
Why sawhorse
That's
twice?
depressing.
Did I put it twice? Oops.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, there is a sawhorse and sawhorse.
Totally.
They're different.
Anyways, I'll talk about some of the more interesting items. So obviously there are 8 cats, right? The child's care and the baby characters are kind of interesting because the brothers never married. They never had children. So I guess it was just kind of leftover relics or something. On top of a torch-drawn carriage is just kind of cool. The chassis of the Model T was, again, their generator. They had an X-ray machine. You know.
What's a clavichord?
It's like a weird piano.
Old tiny piano.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
How
they
many
also,
chandeliers?
I think they're like 3 or something.
I'll gladly take the chandeliers.
They had 14 pianos inside their apartment. So
Wow.
They had a bunch of other musical instruments. So from their father, they had more than 25,000 books. Right, most of them in medicine, engineering, and law. So based on their area of expertise.
Their father's jars of human organs.
Their father was a doctor, so it's not as creepy as it sounds.
Wait,
No, it's pretty creepy.
but
Not
my
as
mom's a
creepy.
doctor, and she doesn't have jars of human organs in my
Yeah.
house.
This also,
At
I'm
least
pretty
not.
sure your mother wasn't.
They were pickle organs too, so they weren't rotting unlike the bodies. Sorry,
Now I'm
that
just
was really
imagining-
morbid.
Now I'm just imagining Pickle Rick does have been in a jar.
And then from their mother, they inherited all of her blinds. So that was really-
Her dowry
that was-
chests.
Yeah. So I guess back then, like unmarried women would put a chest of all this stuff they would have in hopes of and when they get married, I'm gonna get all this stuff back or something like that. At least that's how I think it goes. Yeah.
Wait, so was there like mold when they found the house? Was there like mold or stains or?
I mean,
Or was it
I'm
not?
Some kinds of like disrepair.
Well, I
I
mean, obviously
mean-
the booby traps.
there had to have been.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything specifically, but I guess you could just infer that it was really bad.
Alright.
And so this operation took a really long time. It was 3 months. And so during this time, they discovered that the brothers had 34 bank accounts with $38,000 in them. And if you count everything that they owned, most of the junk was useless and was worth nothing. However, maybe the X-ray machine and the
Guys,
Ford
I
Model
got
T
it.
was actually worth something. And so overall, their total net worth was $1 million. So, yay, they were rich. And so they had a bunch of relatives, 56 distant ones, and they came to claim the money because, well, they died and they needed somebody to take the money. So, 3 months later, the building and the brothers were gone. The city had raised their apartment and it's no longer there today. Yeah.
So did they give the brother? One, did they give the brothers decent burial? And two, is there like a historical marker of where the building used to exist?
I'm not sure about, I think they gave them a decent burial. And then, yes, there is a historical marker.
Find it.
They have a park after them.
Oh, okay.
And it's
Don't forget your clean your room.
yeah, don't get to clean your room because that's stuff could happen. I think there's a picture that shows where they are now, the park. So, we've all been waiting for pictures.
And ads. Oh my god.
Oh wait, how do I full screen this?
I think there's a.
It's at the
Wait,
yeah.
where did I get my baggy glasses?
Okay, so
Stop, Skylar, turn off the lights.
okay, so let's not care about the ads because those are going to get annoying. So
Oh my god.
yeah, I'll read off I haven't looked at these yet, in depth. So I'll just read off the interesting parts of the text. So yeah, this is the outside of their apartment. And then, let's see, this one is Langley.
Who's the other guy?
So it's an attorney for, I don't know what court case they were in, but they must have some legal problem or something. So let's see, this is a cop digging out stuff from inside their house. And then let's see. This is a rare glimpse of Homer,
Homer.
actually. So this is Homer. So this is the outside of their apartment.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Wait, this is what it looked like all the time, not when they were cleaning it out afterward?
Yeah. This is all the time, not just.
How is this allowed?
No,
How did they-
No.
Just-
That's worse than my room.
Actually, no, never mind. No, this is when they're cleaning it out.
This is when they're cleaning it out.
But I
This
would-
is when they're cleaning it out.
Yeah, but I would guess that there was still junk floating outside of the house even when they were still alive because there's just so much of it.
Okay, because they didn't allow that.
That's
That's enough.
Oh, shoot.
So this is a city marshal, right? And the Collyer brothers wouldn't let him inside the apartment to remove the gas meters, so he just had to walk outside and do it himself. So
I don't envy him.
this is the top of their building,
Hey,
and there's even trash on top of it too,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny.
look at your picture.
Oh, wait, here's one.
See, there was a lot of structural damage.
This is a family studio and music room, and there's a gas chandelier, and there's a pipe organ.
I'm just seeing so many fire hazards.
I know.
I'm actually surprised that their house didn't
Fire
explode
hazards,
or
health
catch on fire.
hazards.
Everything
Um,
has a-
Why is that a skeleton?
That's, I think, is that
That's
Langley?
not one of them. It's just a skeleton they had.
Oh, because
Their dad is a doctor.
Skeleton they
Their
have.
dad is a doctor.
Yeah.
Now, it looks to me like it's not like a.
See, they had to burn it down because otherwise the
Is that
house would
skin
become
hanging off
haunted.
the arm? Is that they're holding up there?
Maybe.
Like, it doesn't look to me like a pristine skeleton.
Let's see. Oh, here's a grandfather clock. So
Oh.
without hands. So they had a bunch of cool stuff, obviously. Here's someone moving out with their pipe organ.
They had a pipe
Right,
organ?
moving.
Yeah.
Yes.
From a few
you said
pictures
that.
ago, if you remember.
Oh, I'm jealous. I like pipe organs. I don't know how to play them. Oh, another shoes.
Um,
That is disgusting.
here's some more inside of the house. So they had a bunch of
That's a lot of
too.
newspapers. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
newspapers. Most, like, some of them were like decades old.
It is worse. It was.
Welcome, Lindy.
This is from June 13, 1927. Charles Lindbergh's New York welcome home from his transatlantic flight.
Okay, that's actually really cool.
So yeah. This is, oh yeah, I forgot to say that there's a crowd of about 2,000 people watching as they try to break inside the house. And so here they are, watching them break inside the house.
I'd actually want to be the person.
I never realized how much respected it was.
How well known was it that they were hoarding while they were still alive? Like, were they like just like the
They were well known enough that the phrase Collyer Brothers was used to indicate just a general mess.
Oh.
Gee, that room looks like a Collier's Brothers. So, like that's how it'd be used. Here's a Bible. So this is one of the few not messy photos, I think. Moving out a piano. That's such a grand to me, actually.
That is a grand, it says so in the thing.
Another inside the house. So these are the detectives trying to find the bodies. And so, I don't think you can really see it, but the description says that they're actually looking at one of the bodies of the brothers.
Yeah, it says something at Langley.
So, I would guess around here, it's just, I don't think there's enough detail to really see, but, and then,
Ad. Oh, there's the
here's
chassis.
the chassis of the
Chassis.
Model T.
Chassis.
I want to guess Model T, but it just says vintage automobile, so maybe not.
Of a vintage automobile.
And then here's some pistols that they found inside.
Was that part of like the booby traps?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I don't, they didn't say exactly how the U-traps were made, but it was probably like, you step on it and then,
You dead.
Right.
yeah, because trash collapsed on you.
I thought the booby traps were like, they had stuff rigged to fall on them.
Oh, yeah,
You're in a confined area.
yeah, it was probably that, because,
You're in a confined
Because they
area,
got
and you
crushed.
step on something, and then like a one ton statue would fall on you or something.
and then this is, the outside now clean. So you be. And then I have another gallery of photos. This might be, no, it's a different one.
This is not breaking into the
Okay, so now they're showing photos now.
Police take an axe to the front door.
Yeah, so now they're trying to break into the house.
Wait, what
on
did
the
they
first
eat,
day of
though?
when they're dead. They're still trying to. What is this here? They're still trying to break into the house, and so now they're just trying to throw all the junk out. Newspapers. Lots and lots of newspapers. And then more trying to get them out. So Homer was on the second floor. So it says. Here is Langley climbing over a fence, probably on one of his midnight raids to hoard more junk. More newspapers. And then a bunch of boxes too.
Whoa. Books.
Books.
Oh,
They had 25,000 of them. So
My brother would be in heaven.
yeah.
Well, wait, but the question is, in what condition were they in?
They're probably running. So people searching inside the house. So now these guys are like counting out all the stuff that's been thrown out. So that like
I wonder if they held an auction.
taking account of, I just had it twice already. More searching inside the house. People looking outside the house. Oh, this is they're watching, hoping that they're gonna get evicted because they're not paying their workers. But then one of the brothers like, here, have money. And so, they are not evicted. Oh, that's a statue, not a dead person. And more junk. Lots and lots and lots of junk. Oh, we already saw
this guy.
Um,
Well, something's going flying.
okay, yeah. So they're throwing out junk from the top floors. And so crowds are just like, watching. Because they're excited. They want to see dead people, sort of. One, go. More newspapers. Probably from their father.
How big was the apartment?
Not big enough.
Not big enough. I think they had the whole corner building actually, which is really surprising because they would have a lot of stuff. I mean, they had like 120, 140 tons of stuff. So, quite a lot. Another picture inside the house. More searching through stuff.
We already saw
More
that
searching through
one.
stuff. Oh. That's interesting. So this is actually Langley talking to people outside the apartment.
Okay, so invaders were actually the public officials' cleanup squads.
Yeah. I guess he's yelling at them because he didn't want to touch his beloved trash. See, what is trash is another man's treasure, right?
Right.
I think there's this one.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Cool. So what did they eat?
Yeah. And then I think that, I have a